and welcome to Verdictum. I am Ananya Singh and today we are going to take a look back in time on some of the most notable judgments pronounced by Justice Kuttiyil Mathew Joseph. But before that, let's take a brief look on the life of Justice Joseph. Born on June 17, 1958 in Kerala, Justice Joseph did his LLB from Government Law College, Ernakulam, and enrolled as an advocate in the year 1982 in Delhi. Later, he shifted to the High Court of Kerala in 1983 and practiced civil and writ matters there. Justice Joseph was appointed as the permanent judge of the Kerala High Court in 2004. And after serving at the Kerala High Court for about 10 years, he was appointed the Chief Justice of the Uttarakhand High Court in July 2014. In January 2018, the Supreme Court Collegium recommended the name of Justice K.M. Joseph to be appointed as a judge at the Supreme Court. The centre, however, rejected the name of Justice Joseph, citing several grounds, such as over-representation from the Kerala High Court at the Apex Court, lack of seniority amongst the other High Court judges, and lack of representation from other High Courts. The Collegium later reiterated its recommendation, which was then accepted by the centre, and Justice Joseph was elevated as the judge of the Supreme Court on August 8, 2018. During his tenure as a Supreme Court judge, Justice Joseph has authored about 132 judgments and has been a part of about 404 benches. Today, we will be taking a look at some of the most notable judgments passed by him. Gautam Navlakha versus National Investigation Agency. A three-judge bench of the Supreme Court comprising Justices U.U. Lalit, Indira Banerjee and K.M. Joseph on May 12, 2021 heard the bail plea of journalist and activist Gautam Navlakha, who was charged under various sections of the Indian Penal Code and the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act for allegedly inciting violence at the Bhima Koregaon along with other activists. The point of contention in the case was whether house arrest can be considered a form of police or judicial custody under Section 167 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. The question arose after Navlakha spent a total of 11 days in police custody and 48 days in judicial custody, and later an additional of 34 days he was under house arrest. He applied for default bail under Section 167 CRPC. The petitioner urged that house arrest also amounted to police custody because during the said period his liberty was curtailed. The Supreme Court faced great confusion in this case because Section 167 CRPC demands that an order of detention must be passed by the magistrate. However, in Navlakha's case, the house arrest was ordered by the High Court of Delhi. The NIA, which was the respondent in the case, also contended that the period of house arrest could not be considered police custody, as the investigating agency had no access to Navlakha during the period, and the only people that communicated with him were his family members and lawyers. The Supreme Court held that Navlakha cannot be held to be eligible for default bail, and the 34 days of his house arrest cannot be considered police custody and cannot be included in the calculation of 90 days required for establishing eligibility for default bail. Joseph Shine versus Union of India. A constitution bench of 5 judges comprising Justice K.M. Joseph, Justice Ajay Rastogi, Justice Aniruddha Bose, Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar unanimously struck down Section 497 of the Indian Penal Code, which criminalized adultery. The petitioner filed a writ petition under Article 32 of the Constitution of India, challenging the constitutional validity of Section 497 of IPC, read with Section 198(2) of Criminal Procedure Code, which provides how a complainant may file charges for offences of adultery, while also specifying that only the husband may file a complaint for the said offence. The top court reviewed the precedents, Saumitri Vishnu, Yusuf Abdul Aziz and V. Revathi, which had previously upheld the constitutional validity of the adultery law. The court delivered its judgment on September 27, 2018, decriminalizing adultery and overruling the previous judgments. In November 2020, a miscellaneous application was filed by the Union of India, demanding more clarity on the judgment and its effect on the members of armed forces. On January 31, 2023, a 5-judge bench led by Justice K.M. Joseph passed the final verdict, stating that the Joseph Shine judgment of 2018 was not concerned with the laws of the armed forces, and the members of such forces shall stand exempt from the said judgment. Common Cause versus Union of India. The present case was heard by a constitution bench of 5 judges, comprising of Justices K.M. Joseph, Ajay Rastogi, Aniruddha Bose, Rishikesh Roy and C.T. Ravi Kumar. The apex court considered some very important questions, such as whether the constitutional guarantee of right to life includes right to die, whether euthanasia can be made lawful by bringing a legislation in this regard, whether individuals can give advance directives on the medical treatments if in future they lose the ability to communicate. The Supreme Court on March 8, 2018 recognized the right to die with dignity as a fundamental right and prescribed the guidelines for terminally ill patients to execute a living will for appropriate action to be taken by the treating facility when and if they are admitted to the hospital. The 5-judge bench at this time comprised of the then CJI Deepak Mishra and Justices A.K. Sikri, A.M. Khanwilkar, D.Y. Chandrachud and Ashok Bhushan that asserted that the right to bodily integrity and self-determination by allowing advance medical directives. On July 19, 2019, a miscellaneous application was filed by the Indian Society for Critical Care, requesting a 5-judge bench to modify the guidelines and also seeking clarification of the 2018 judgment. The bench was then led by Justice K.M. Joseph, and the court modified its previous guidelines to make the right to die with dignity more accessible and streamlined the process, which was earlier extremely cumbersome. With that, I, Ananya Singh, thank you for watching Verdictum. For more such informative content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and download the Verdictum app on iOS and Android for latest legal news.